Imagine a monument built not of stone but of human skulls. Picture the chilling sight, row upon row of skulls, each one once a living person, now transformed into a symbol of power and devotion. This was the Huitzilopochtli, the Great Skull Rack, standing at the very heart of the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, a city that pulsed with ritual and belief. Archaeologists have uncovered over 650 skulls in just one section of the rack. Spanish accounts from the time claimed that Tzompantli once displayed more than 130,000 skulls, a number so vast it almost defies imagination. Each skull was a public testament to sacrifice, offerings to the gods to keep the universe in balance. These were not anonymous remains, but individuals whose deaths were woven into the fabric of Aztec cosmology. Most victims were captured warriors, sacrificed atop the temple pyramids in elaborate ceremonies, their heads added to the Tzompantli as proof of victory and devotion. This was a public act, a declaration of Aztec power and devotion, witnessed by crowds who gathered in awe and fear. The skull rack was a grim ledger, a visual reminder of the cost of war and the might of the gods. It was both a warning and a promise. Human sacrifice was not rare. It was a constant state-sponsored institution, woven into the very structure of Aztec society and religion. Priests and warriors were celebrated for their roles in this cosmic drama, honored as essential actors in the eternal struggle to sustain the world. The entire society was organized to sustain this flow of energy to the gods. From farmers to rulers, everyone played a part in the cycle of sacrifice and renewal. The Aztecs believed the sun god, Huitzilopochtli, needed human hearts and blood to rise each day, fueling the cosmic engine that kept life in motion. Without sacrifice, the sun would falter, crops would fail, and chaos would reign. The fate of the world, they believed, hung in the balance. Temples were not just places of worship. They were engines of cosmic survival, where the boundary between the mortal and the divine was crossed through blood. The skulls on the Tzompantli symbolized a universe sustained, another dawn secured through human offering, a stark reminder of the price paid for cosmic order. The Aztecs believed they had a cosmic duty to feed the sun god Huitzilopochtli with human life. War was sacred, the means to obtain the precious water of blood and hearts that nourished the gods. Without these offerings, the sun would weaken and the world would collapse. Grand temples were built as physical promises to the gods, sites where this vital energy transfer occurred. These temples unified the population, focusing collective effort on a shared existential goal. By centralizing worship and sacrifice, Aztec rulers reinforced their authority and justified constant military campaigns. Every stone laid was an act of devotion and survival. The temples were not passive. They were the heart of the Aztec cosmic engine. War kept the universe running. The temples kept war sacred. The Aztecs built for war because, to them, war was life itself. Their temples stood as the ultimate commitment to this cosmic contract. At the very heart of Aztec warfare stood Huitzilopochtli, the formidable sun and war god, revered as the driving force behind the Mexica's rise to power. He demanded constant sacrifice, both in blood and devotion, to fuel his relentless daily battle against the encroaching darkness, ensuring the sun would rise each morning. His grand temple, the Templo Mayor, was the empire's most important sacred site, a towering symbol of Mexican power, destiny, and the cosmic struggle for survival. Alongside Huitzilopochtli stood Tezcatlipoca, the enigmatic smoking mirror, god of night, fate, sorcery, and conflict, whose influence was both feared and respected. Huitzilopochtli embodied open warfare, state power, and the glory of conquest. Tezcatlipoca, on the other hand, represented the chaos, unpredictability, and cunning required to survive the ever-changing tides of battle. Their temples stood side by side atop the Templo Mayor, representing the duality of order and chaos, day and night, creation and destruction. Warriors prayed to Huitzilopochtli for strength, courage, and victory in battle, and to Tezcatlipoca for cunning, wisdom, and the ability to outwit their enemies. The presence of both gods' temples revealed the Aztecs' sophisticated view of war, a complex blend of light and shadow, order and chaos, woven into the fabric of their society. Public worship and grand ceremonies reinforced the empire's might and unity, while private prayers sought protection from fate, misfortune, and the unknown. By honoring both deities, the Aztecs navigated a world defined by conflict, uncertainty, and the constant interplay of opposing forces. The temples were crossroads of power, faith, and fate, where the spiritual and earthly realms met. Here, in the shadow and light of their gods, the Aztecs sought balance in a universe ruled by war, ever striving to maintain harmony amid chaos. Aztec war temples were massive stepped pyramids designed to awe and intimidate. The Templo Mayor, with twin temples for Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, symbolized the dual forces of war and sustenance. Steep staircases represented the arduous journey to the gods. Rituals atop the pyramids were visible to all. Sacrifices performed at the summit were public spectacles, reinforcing the power of gods and rulers. Temples were adorned with symbolic sculptures, serpents, eagles, and the dismembered goddess Coyolxauhqui at the base. Victims were rolled down the steps, reenacting cosmic myths. The architecture was a tool of empire, designed to impress allies and terrify enemies. Conquered peoples witnessed the grandeur and terror of the Templo Mayor, a warning against rebellion. These temples were not just places of worship, they were instruments of psychological control. Their design blended faith with fear, making the Aztec worldview unmissable. Aztec temples were deliberately placed at the heart of their cities, within the sacred precinct. In Tenochtitlan, this precinct was the empire's political, religious, and economic center. The Templo Mayor's location was chosen by divine sign, an eagle on a cactus, as told in Aztec legend. Over centuries, the temple grew, each ruler building over the last, symbolizing continuity and power. When conquering new cities, the Aztecs built temples to Huitzilopochtli atop local sacred sites, asserting dominance. The sacred precinct was a hub of activity, connected by causeways and filled with people during festivals. Its central placement made the power and piety of the state visible to all, reinforcing Aztec identity. Temple ceremonies were elaborate, dramatic, and often violent. The most significant was human sacrifice, a ritualized act with deep meaning. Captive warriors, treated as divine impersonators, were paraded, honored, then led up the temple steps. At the summit, priests offered the still-beating heart to the gods. The body rolled down the stairs in a cosmic reenactment. These events were public spectacles, engaging all senses: incense, music, chanting, and vibrant costumes. The ceremonies united the community in a shared spiritual experience. Priests also performed auto-sacrifice, offering their own blood in devotion. Warriors prayed for victory and dedicated spoils after battle. The temples were always active, binding the community to the gods through a continuous cycle of ritual. Every act reinforced the social and cosmic order. The temple was the stage for the Aztec drama of faith and power. Rituals at the war temples involved every layer of Aztec society, drawing people from all walks of life into a shared spiritual experience. High priests, often related to the emperor, wielded immense authority, overseeing the cults of Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc. Their knowledge of sacred rites and cosmic cycles made them indispensable to the empire's spiritual well-being. A hierarchy of priests managed sacred fires, calendars, and sacrifices, ensuring that every ritual was performed at the correct time and with proper reverence. Warriors sought to capture, not kill, enemies. Prestige and social rank depended on captives. Their bravery in battle was celebrated and closely tied to religious duty. Elite warriors like Eagle and Jaguar warriors presented captives for sacrifice, earning honor and status. Their deeds were legendary, inspiring awe among the people. Captives, often enemy warriors, were seen as messengers to the gods. Their sacrifice was the highest offering, believed to sustain the sun and the cosmos itself. Some impersonated gods before their deaths, transforming execution into a sacred event. These impersonators were honored, living as the deity for a time before their ultimate fate. The general populace watched these ceremonies, reaffirming their beliefs and unity. For many, witnessing the rituals was a profound reminder of their place in the cosmic order. Public participation was crucial, binding society together in shared purpose. Festivals and rituals offered moments of collective joy, awe, and reflection. From emperor to commoner, everyone had a role in the grand theater of Aztec ritual, each person contributing to the spiritual life of the empire. The spectacle reinforced social cohesion and the divine mission of the state, reminding all of their shared destiny and responsibilities. Ritual was the glue that held the Aztec world together, weaving individuals into a powerful, unified civilization. War temples were the engines of Aztec military and political power. The need for sacrifices drove perpetual warfare. Flower wars fought to capture, not conquer. Temples dominated city skylines, constant reminders of divine and state authority. The ritual calendar structured daily life, marking seasons, wars, and festivals. Temples controlled land and tribute, funding priesthoods and public ceremonies. For commoners, military success at the temple meant social mobility and honor. The promise of glory motivated thousands to become warriors. Temples were also centers of knowledge. Priests kept codices, taught nobility, and preserved history. They were the intellectual and cultural heart of the empire. Through the temples, Aztec beliefs and power endured across generations. Aztec war temples teach us how belief can shape a civilization. Their society, wars, and sacrifices were logical extensions of their cosmic worldview. Understanding this complexity challenges us to look beyond our own judgments. The ruins of these temples, like the Templo Mayor, connect us to layers of history and myth. Archaeology reveals a nuanced picture. Temples as centers of art, astronomy, and statecraft, not just violence. The story of the Aztecs is more than conquest and blood. It's about faith, power, and human ingenuity. Each discovery deepens our understanding of their world. The stones remain, inviting us to listen and learn. The Aztec war temples are a compelling chapter in human history. Their legacy endures, challenging us to keep seeking the voices of the past.